So it's very clear that there are some specific things that people are looking for in their relationships with other people, as well as they try to find their way through the world. And so if you want to be an effective communicator, there are a couple of things, or effective person who is able to work with groups of people and individuals, or a person who is striving to try to understand other folks. Here are some concepts that will aid you in that process. First of all, there are four truths that we operate from. One is that human beings can learn, change, and grow. And so who we are today is the sum total of not only all of our experiences, but our interpretation of those experiences. And so who I am today I'm a lot different today than I was, than the person I was when I was 17. And the growth process, the experiences that I've had have really allowed me to shape my paradigm, the way I see the world, and influence who I am today. And so people can learn, change, and grow. I don't have to be stuck with either a predestined existence. I do not have to follow the path that my forefathers paved for me. I can actually make some selections and decisions today that will impact who I can be, and who I will be in the future. Also, people do what they think works even when it's ineffective. And so oftentimes, we get frustrated with folks because we don't understand necessarily why they've made a choice that they've made, or sometimes we'll get frustrated with ourselves because we'll do something and it's not congruent with our goals and our objectives, and we ask ourselves why. And typically, we exhibit this particular set of behaviors because it has been helpful in the past, therefore we believe that it will be helpful in our present, thus dictating our future. And so we do things that we think make sense given those models of goal attainment. And so if we want to change our outcome in the future, we have to be mindful of what it is that we're doing in the present. And so people do what they think works, even if there's no empirical data that supports the fact that this type of behavior is going to get us towards our goal. Next, what we must also understand is that all human behavior is goal directed. So people act in accordance to what they believe is the truth, and they also act in what they believe will help them achieve their goal. All too often, though, people are operating off of poor perceptions of what their goal is, or they may not even have a clear idea of the goals that they're working towards. And so when we look at people's behaviors, what we start to understand is that they are operating towards some goals that either are not very well defined, or that don't have any kind of definition at all. And so all human behavior is goal directed. So people are doing things to get some sense of reward or accomplishment. And lastly, an attitude is a reaction to a goal. And a simple way of looking at or thinking about a goal in a different kind of way is that a goal actually is an illusion. It is a shadow. It is not an actual thing. That an attitude actually is a response to something much more profound. And that a goal is actually the thing that drives or shapes one's attitude. A simple way to think about this is if one gets what one wants, then one typically has a good attitude. But when one is denied or delayed access to what is desired, then they typically would be classified as having a bad or a negative attitude. And so when we encounter people with these bad attitudes, these bad emotional affects, these bad interactions, these poor ways of communicating with folks what it is they want, it becomes clear to us that the absence of their ability to achieve their goal is what is actually driving the attitude. And so if we want people to have a good attitude, there are a couple of things that we have to take into account. One of which is that if we help them achieve their goal, then they will have a good attitude. The other thing to consider is, what if the goal that they're trying to achieve is unattainable, it's not good for them, they don't have the resources, or I can't help them to attain those goals. Then the second part of my responsibility is to help them find a new goal to drive towards or to operate from as a part of their life. And so an attitude, again, is a side effect, is a shadow, in a sense, of goal accomplishments. And so when we achieve our goals, we have a good attitude. When we're denied our goals, we have a bad attitude. The next thing that I want to spend some time talking about is this idea of respect. And I'll pause this video and we'll come back to this sense of respect. But at its core, respect is not something that can be earned; it must be given. So we'll come back to that principle in more detail in just a bit.